Welcome back to another episode of the X-Pod. Today we have one of Cape Town's legends, definitely one of my good old friends, and without this guy, I don't think I would be where I am today. I would like to welcome Sakkie to the podcast. Hi, Sakkie.
Welcome to the viewers. Welcome, Jalil. We thank you for actually inviting me. And happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah,
And
happy Father's Day
to
to you
the
as well.
viewers.
Actually, I always wanted to do. I actually wanted to do you as my very first episode, but unfortunately, you weren't available at the time. And I mean, we chat a lot, um, always throwing ideas at each other, talking about the old days. And I know you, to me, is one of the pioneers that when it comes to turbocharging in Cape Town, the tuning scene, all the customization and stuff. I always see you as one of the pioneers from that time. But where did it all start for you, basically?
Jalil, if I look back prior to the turbocharging, we, like you as well, we all started off somewhere. And that is, we all used to watch the guys playing with their cars and their
Yeah.
toys and things like that. And we all car lovers, you understand? So it is where there was this one guy, Keith Smith, he was a sign writer back then. And he used to take us all to Goodwood Showgrounds.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah,
time?
the Guru Showgrounds. There's no more Guru Showgrounds now. It's basically Grand West for all the new kids and stuff.
Yes. That is also where we all actually went to go watch Brian Brighton, Neville Rousseau, them, Peanuts for She, them, Jesse Haggard.
Yeah, Jesse Haggard.
All those guys that, and you understand, that for us was fun.
Yeah.
And that gave me an intro to the races actually back
Okay.
then. And I always loved racing cars. And as you grew up, you start thinking one day, if you got a car, you're gonna do X and X to the
Yeah.
car. And and the first car was my mother bought a Cortina. And that
So
is
you were a
where-
Ford man initially?
Ford, yes. We love Ford. That was a poor man's car. And also, and thanks for Ford actually, because
Yeah.
why? That time it was a poor man's car, and also to compete against the top cars, you have to make it work.
Yeah.
You understand? You put the extra effort in there.
Yeah.
And then after that, I used to go to, you remember Pavilion back then?
Yes, I remember the Pavilion, yeah.
So that is actually where it started at Pavilion. And,
Pavilion and Indiana used to kind of run in
Yes,
conjunction with each
yes,
other.
yes.
Like Saturday night, you were either at Indiana or you start off at Indiana, go to Pavilion, or start off
Yeah,
at Pavilion
yeah,
and
yeah,
end up
yeah.
at Indiana.
You used to get back then, we actually at the Pavilion, and somebody will come and tell you, hey, the vibe at Indiana,
Yeah.
and then we all from here go to
Yes,
Indiana.
I remember that.
And that was so lekker about it. And that is where we met actually. Back then, when I met up with a friend of mine, they used to have, when they built Mitchell's Plain, it was still back in the 80s, you understand? There was no shops.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And Zaid was his name. But I met Zaid through Bashu, that used to go out with his sister, and they used to have mobile shops, man.
Okay.
And then he had a Datsun,
Okay.
you understand?
Yeah.
With club butts, you understand? And I used to, after every Saturday, I used to go ride for them, just to earn a bit of money.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And we used
Was
to.
this now before you got married?
Yeah, that's way then. Now I still at school.
Oh, you were still at school? Okay.
Standard 6 that time.
Yeah. Okay.
No license,
No
nothing.
license, but
And I used to go ride, and this guy had a Datsun with a 1800 side rows, and he used to perform here at the Pavilion.
okay.
Now you know the late Reggie them, you know
Yes,
Reggie.
yes, I know Reggie.
Reggie them was all there, Zaid was there, Brent was there, Hara, all the Ford
All the Ford guys,
you
okay.
understand? So it started off there, you understand? And then that is also where I learned to know Sharif, Rifi,
Okay.
with a Pepsi Datsun.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to travel with me as we go to Indiana, jump into the Ford.
Yeah.
That time he used to have a Beetle.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it's like that's where we all actually
all started.
Yeah, you understand?
You see, I think from that era is where all the real street racing legends come from.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know, further than that, Rifi, back then, if I may say this, he used to like a 1600 Sport.
Yeah,
Not actually a Datsun, but what he saw in a Datsun
yeah.
has made him change his mind and bought a triple SU, which
Okay.
was a Pepsi.
The Pepsi
you
one, yeah.
understand? And he did well with his Datsun, and then there was Shamil them. How I actually got to know Shamil them, Khatim.
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah,
Khatim
Khatim.
them? So we
That
all
time they
one
were with
group.
new braking clutch at the time.
Yes, new braking clutch. They were the only people that could do the clutches for
Yeah.
us. You understand? And they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
Khatim was the main guy, Tola them all there. So that is where all the Owens, that was before Shiraja's time working for them. You
Okay.
understand? So yeah, that is where we all started, and we all had the normal aspirated cars. You understand? That used to compete amongst each other.
Yeah.
You understand? But then Indiana, Sharif became well known.
Yeah.
You understand? With his Pepsi. Shamil had his yellow Datsun. You still remember
Yeah.
that time?
And Dion, what happened? Was Dion? Dion wasn't there.
Dion Meneth wasn't actually on the what's name
On the scene at that time,
On
no?
the scene, no. It was more the TRDs. You remember the
Yeah.
TRDs? Achizem, Laidudem, those TRDs.
When did Hayden
and
come?
Hayden Pool?
Hayden Pool.
Hayden Pool used to have a green SR5.
Yeah.
Was well actually prep.
Okay.
Roger Taylor conversion, I still remember Hayden that time. And you know Hayden,
Yeah.
yeah, to the T, eh?
Yeah.
That car was one of the best cars I actually, for that time, I actually,
Yeah.
what's the name, admired. But also coming to it, we all learn from that era, you understand? And then as that era, with the V6s, that time I used to do Wallace's Sierra, you understand? Normal aspirated Sierra. I then had Cortina, 2-liter Cortina, which me, Yaki, and Nathan.
That you guys built.
Yeah, we said, okay, right, we can't compete with these guys. They as normal aspirated, we can't.
Yeah.
We have to do
You said the
something.
Datsuns was just too quick and it knew the
No, the
Toyotas was.
Texans were phenomenal. The Toyotas were phenomenal. There wasn't like a four-cylinder Ford. Only the V6s. They different to the class that we
That you were-
compete in.
okay.
So the Sierras and the BMWs, Ahmad Oegdem and the Sierras, Rashad Botha, Wallace. There was Adu from Paul. Those Owens.
Mr. Hey, you know, I actually saw him the other day.
Adu?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
I
you know,
saw him the
they
other day.
all grow old. Even Adu van der Schijf.
Yeah.
You understand? Those were the guys that used to, the front runners of the Sierras and the BMs. It was always between the Sierras and the BMs.
And the BMs, yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
And but I'm gonna tell you something with the Datsuns. They were good. You understand? Sharif's benchmark was actually to beat the BMW.
Okay.
Yeah, with his 4-cylinder.
But
And
what
I'm gonna
distance
tell
did you run that time?
Eh?
What distance were you guys racing that
Yes,
time?
yes, that time you could actually. I wasn't smoking, but you can actually light up a cigarette and smoke out a whole packet till the end. There was 10 k's.
Yeah.
You can actually tell a story. You can actually fall asleep and wake up and then
The race is still there.
Yeah, and you understand, and get to the finish. But it was fun. It
Yeah.
wasn't. You know what? It was like, you know, as you always said, it's like we used to dice, have a cup of coffee, have something to eat, have a joke,
Yeah.
have a fun. You understand?
No, definitely, yeah. Because I was talking to Musi about this last week, and we also said that the racing is a lot different now. There's like no, it's different, man. It's too serious, yeah.
And that Jalil is actually takes the fun away.
Yeah.
You know how we used to ride against each other, no? But we used to help each other.
Yeah.
You understand?
Exactly.
Try this camp in a Datsun camp. Shamil, I still remember in Sharif. You understand? It looks like rivals at Indiana, but
yeah.
they were the best of friends as well. You
Yeah.
understand? So it wasn't always about us how the people sees it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And the people always create a negative
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, it's always the spectators. Look, even back now as well, it's the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
also the spectators create this animosity, or it makes it look like this big animosity between the drivers. But most of the times it's not like that.
Yes, we tuners, and that's what I always used to say. We tuners, we are tuners. We actually create uh, um, uh, uh, um, uh, what the people want from us. Give them a good job, tune their car, and out there they have to enjoy
Yeah.
themselves. And unfortunately, that's how work. You
Yeah.
understand? So you always get like one guy, obviously a negative of the others because of the guy that's driving the car. You
Yeah.
understand? So we mustn't take note of it.
Yeah.
You understand? But as I was saying, with that, the Datsuns, the TRDs, the Ford was totally on its own. You understand? And then I told myself, hey, how do I fit into this puzzle? And then one day, Nathan actually came up to me and he said, I then had RS 2000 and I had a Cortina. And I said, yes, sir, we need to, because why? Everything for the 2-liter Ford wasn't available like
Yeah.
for the Datsuns and the
Yeah,
Toyotas.
nothing off the
and-
shelf.
Yeah, off the shelf. We have to make things work, which was good.
Yeah.
You understand? Because at that time you got the ability to learn
Yeah.
and exercise. You understand? With the other guy, he is actually depending on what he's getting.
Yeah.
You understand? And I always used to make the statement then: if we're not gonna try, we're not gonna learn.
Yeah.
So based on that, you could use to grow yourself. If any car comes in here, we can apply that to any car
Yeah.
and make power. Right?
Yeah, of course.
So that was a initiative, and Nathan Marinas came. He said, "Sakkie, try this thing." I said,
What is this?
what is this, Nathan? He said, look here, if you look back in the days, the Formula One cars, they used to ride 1500s, they used to make like 600 horsepower.
Yeah.
You understand? But the engine never lost. I said, yeah, okay, right. Now, how are we going to make that power with this bloody thing? You understand?
Yeah.
So there you got a turbocharger, and we only got a turbocharger. And
Yeah.
I said, okay, right. And then the next thing, Yaki comes out, hey, yeah, you must read this. This is how you apply that.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I got the idea how to apply it because I've read a couple of what's name.
Yeah.
And there we started this project. You know what, Jalil, back then the 2-liter Ford engines, you could buy them in a scrapyard for little money.
Okay.
So Owen at Suburban Space, I went there and I said, Owen, I need engines, you understand,
Yeah.
2-liter engines. And I think I paid 100 Rand for a sub-assembly and maybe 150 for the
Yes,
engine.
so where you going to get the engine or something now?
So it started all off there, and then I built the engine. And that time I was still by my mom's house.
Yeah.
And we built the engine, turbocharger on, side rafts on, right? Now, how are we gonna now, this carburetor, how's this carburetor? Because the carburetor is vacuum sensitive.
Yes.
So now we're gonna blow
Blow.
air in there. So the fuel is gonna be all over the show. And based on that, we have to work it out, right? That time, there was no internet, there was nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
You understand? So you go to a guy, who you going to ask how this thing works? Eventually, I bought a book, Beatlemania.
A Beatlemania.
Yeah.
Okay.
You understand?
Because I think the Beatles used to run a suck-through system. Right?
That's it. And they use these Beatles on the dunes in
Okay.
America. And they actually had a more insight of the carburetor.
Okay.
You understand?
Of what
Because
it needs. Or,
Yes. And then we took the Dalotos. That time we had 45s and 48 Dalotos, and I changed the inside of it, drill holes and things like that. At the time, if I remember, I was running that carburetors without a main jet.
without the main jet.
Yeah, without a main jet. Now, that's around about 310 a jet, the whole size.
Yeah.
So it's 3 millimeter
Meters,
roundabout.
yeah.
You understand? A whole size, and that's how the power went up and up and up. But from the start, to do that carburetor was we had to order special gaskets.
Okay.
The gaskets was like all rubber, what's the silicone gaskets. We have to order different floats. You understand? Needle and seats, we have to ream them out. You understand? Bigger so the fuel can come in.
through.
So we did all this turbo on. Hey, the day we're gonna test drive Jalil. And we're waiting for this turbo now. What's this turbo gonna do? Riding down the road. I tell the guys, what is this? No, man.
Yeah.
Take the shit off. With the side rods, that was like, you understand?
Yeah.
And not knowing the turbo we had, it was a second-hand turbo.
Yeah.
All the fins at the exhaust was
Was
off.
off.
So
Oh,
there's
shit, there was no
pressure.
boost.
Yes. And not knowing, and we tried to find out what the hell's going on here. And to figure out that, we were thinking, yeah, it could be because there's no fuel. It could be because the timing is not right.
Yeah.
And now we need to read more about turbocharging. And that is when we discovered, yeah, let's strip this turbo. And then we saw, hey, but the exhaust wheel, all the fins is off.
Oh.
All off.
Yeah.
And eventually, that time, the only person that could do the turbo for us was Keith Bernardo.
Okay, Keith
Yeah.
from Turbo Exchange.
Turbo Exchange there.
Yeah.
And he then, it was a Rage turbo. And then he said, oh, you don't get parts for this American turbo. And you don't get parts for it. The only thing I can do, I can sell you this turbo. It was 2,500 rand at that time.
Yeah.
Now remember an engine I could bought for 150.
150.
A turbocharger
So it was like
2.5.
20 grand for the turbo.
Yeah, I tell you what, and look here, because we had something going, me, Nathan, and Yaki had something going, and we could raise the funds, you understand?
Okay.
We went to go purchase that turbo, and the next thing we put the turbo, I have to alter the manifold.
Okay.
The flange was different.
Okay.
The Ranger had a triangle flange and alter the
What did you put on?
Garrett.
A Garrett, okay.
Garrett T3.
So you had to change it to
Yeah.
a T3 flange again.
Yeah, flange, and the Ranger had a separate wastegate.
Okay.
You understand? So yeah, same like this with the 2-bolt. Yeah. So basically, I then changed it, took off the wastegate, a flange with the actuator on there. Right. Jesus. When I put that on, yeah, the first gear the car boost. It was like, huh?
What
You
is
understand?
this?
Second gear the car nosedive. What the hell now? You understand? Why does this car do this? Pull first gear, second gear, car nosedive. Why? Not knowing, we need more fuel to the carburetors.
Okay.
First gear already, all the fuel is
All the
out.
fuel is out.
So that time at Jalil, there was only Holly blue or Holly red pumps.
Yeah.
You remember that time for the carburetors?
Yes, I remember.
Right. So okay, I had another Holly blue which we use on the V8s.
Yeah.
And we fitted another Holly blue. Right. Malpas in front. Right. First gear. Oh, second gear. Yeah, the car's
That's
alive
boost,
again.
Yeah.
Mid-second gear, nosedive again. So now we know this is fuel.
Fuel.
Eventually, we then found another fuel pump, which is a
So what was happening was the bulbs running dry.
dryer.
Okay.
There was no fuel supply to the.
Okay,
Now,
to the-
now this is all in the learn. Just think for yourself now. There wasn't cars actually that were doing, or we weren't among people that was doing turbocharging.
Yeah.
We all normal aspirated.
Yeah.
While the people out there enjoy themselves normal aspirated.
Yeah.
They going to Kira, we are now developing something that is going to be the future.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So, not knowing it is going to be the future as
Yeah.
well. So now, the variant came out fuel injection back then. The first car actually fuel injection,
Is
the
it?
VW variant,
Variant, yeah.
411. 411
Yeah.
was fuel injection. Got a fuel pump like that, it's high pressure, put the fuel pump on there. But now, we now with 2.5 bar fuel pressure.
No, so now you got too much fuel.
Now we got too much fuel. So it was like in a cortina, we had a hazard switch and we had a demister switch. So we said, okay, right, what's going to happen here? Nathan, you sit here, passenger. If I pull first gear, second gear, second gear, you
must
switch on
switch on
the
it.
fuel pump.
Yeah.
And this is what the car, pulled second gear, and a nose dive. First go, and then it comes alive.
Yeah.
After that, it like puts us in the seat,
Yeah.
and we all like, huh?
This is
This
bullshit.
is shit now. This gonna be shit here now. These guys, hulle gaan nou les vir ons sê hierso, you understand? They have to now, obviously now be on the game now, you
Yeah.
understand? Eventually now we actually try to sort it out where it's liquor smooth and and then everything comes together. And so now it's gonna be, where are we gonna test it, guys?
Yeah.
How are we gonna test it? To me then, I said, listen guys, let's take this to a dyno. Who's got a dyno? You understand? The only person who had a dyno that time was Jesse Haggett.
Jesse Haggett.
And you know where? In Pardon Island, not here.
Not in Peru.
No, that was way back before they, in Pardon Island. Hey, I took the car there to Jesse Haggett. Hey, Jesse, look at this, Jesse said. I'm going to test this car now. I said, look here, you must just do a run and see. And when Jesse did a run, it made 140 something kilowatts. Jesse, look at me. I was actually very disappointed. I said, yo, Jesse, I want to tell you the Datsuns out there, they're very fast. Jesse, tuning all the guys that used to ride at the Kudu showgrounds. So he brings out a graph. He tells me, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't seen a car making this power so quick. I'm looking at him. He's showing me a Datsun's graph. You understand? Look at this. This Datsun is one of the best Datsuns.
That's racing at the track.
Racing. And if I have to put those two cars together, you will outrun this car by a mile. You maybe haven't got the power, but look how quick your car accelerates. And I look at him. He said, this car must be awesome. And I took the car on the road after he tried and also tune. And the car was good. And that Saturday, me, Nathan, Yaki, right, we're going to test drive this car. Now, Jalil, you know most now, normal aspirated cars, you've got the feel of it builds power, but it must not take forever. So yeah, they don't know. We're now pulling.
They don't know what boost is.
I even didn't know who all was in the line, and I know I pulled up on the left-hand side, and the guys, you must know how it is, rev. And they let go the clutch. As they let go the clutch, the car goes sideways, second gear, car sideways, and I'm in front, and I just see people throwing lights on. What the hell? I just tell them, what the hell happened now? Why are you throwing lights? Yeah, right, pull off, reverse. I reverse back. The next minute, Minx, you still remember Minx? Minx jumped out of the car. And Minx came to the car and said, what the fuck gaan hier aan? Wat is julle onder die fucking bonnet? Ek sê nou, Minx, 2 liter Ford. Hy sê, no, it can't be. Sy soos 'n vloei weg. That's what they threw lights. Right, us 10 Ks we have to ride with a turbocharged car. Flat foot. 10 Ks. We gave them the 10 Ks. I drove the 10 Ks, seeing there's a bridge. Water all over the windscreen. Lights came on the dashboard. Alternator, a battery, oil light.
Everything on.
Everything on. 7, 8 and does it. Head gasket. We cruising to the bridge. Where's the cars? Are they dicing with us or what? As we get to the foot of the bridge, the first car came past us. To me, that was the start of the new era. You understand? So that is actually for us now then to get the car reliable. And if I looked at it, I met up with Modem, all the good tuners in you understand? Mo became a good friend of mine. Basha them, all the Joburg Owens. They always used to crit me when I used to come visit them. People still ride at 10 endurance.
Endurance racing. I don't even think there's a turbo car now that will do a 10K race that will last.
It was. We used to back then. If I look at the Jalil, we used to cater for the BMs. And the BM guys, they were slow.
Yeah.
If
But
you look at
that's
it-
what they wanted, that distance.
Yeah, because if I look at it, even Sharif's car was fast.
Yeah.
It was a quick car. If Sharif has to say, listen, guys, we're going to ride 4Ks, he would have run everyone that time. Even the Datsuns as well, even the TRDs as well. You understand? The Fords even.
Yeah.
The Fords used to break halfway, but they were far ahead of the BMs. It's only afterwards when the BM guys got a wake-up call. Listen here, these cars accelerating away from us. We only by endurance. We catch up with them
Catching
and
them
go
up.
past them. But that wasn't. They weren't quick at all. These guys were very quick off the line to a certain distance.
Yeah.
And because they could obviously do a greater speed from behind, come past the guys. And after that, it was just history. It was like we were building up our daughter when it comes to how we're going to get this car reliable. And if I look at it, then the scene starts changing.
Yeah.
You understand? That's the time when people start finding out, listen here, but this is now the next generation.
Yeah.
You understand?
We need to do something different.
We need to do something different, yes. And then Wallace bought a Sierra twin turbo, and there was then a BM single turbo. I don't know if you still remember Pinky.
Yes, I remember Pinky very well.
Yes, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was like a character, but
Yeah.
if you listen to him,
You know,
like,
Pinky used to come, and then before a race, Pinky used to stand there and tell you what's the wheel size, what's your gear ratio. Okay, then Pinky would say, okay, nice, I gaat wen, sy gaan nie wen nie.
yeah. Pinky
Just by
was
looking at the wheels.
people never understood him, but he was like one character where
Yeah.
you say, yeah, you know what it is. Just listen to him, man.
Yeah.
You understand? Just
Look,
listen
maybe
to
it
that
didn't
guy.
make sense to the guys. I think people used to think he was mad, but what he said or what he thought was pretty spot on.
No,
it
he
was
was
very technical.
Yeah, he was technical.
Yeah.
For people, that's why I say, you just have to leave him, let him talk, and listen, and take that concept what he's telling you,
Yeah.
and see if it's working for you. And in most cases, what he said, you understand?
Yeah.
For people that used to laugh, they didn't learn.
They didn't learn,
You
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? For us, it was like, yeah, Pinky used to calculate and work out your top end and whatever.
Yes.
Put on that tire. What race you got? You understand?
See, that is what I also, I mean, I spoke about that last week also, where I also say that that is basically where I got the idea from, or what he taught me was have the proper ratio, because that will obviously help you put the power down and give you the speed. I mean, we used to rely that time mostly on topping.
Exactly.
Because I mean, I know when I came onto the road at that time, we were running 6Ks.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it came down to 3Ks, because we first used to run from there was 2 bridges, so we had to run to the 3rd bridge.
Yeah.
Then eventually we ran from 1 bridge to the next, which was a 3K.
Yeah.
But I mean, initially when I started, the Opels used to catch me halfway.
Yeah.
So I was gone. And then you used to say, nah, the Opels is coming, the super bosses, they used to catch me.
Yeah.
And they always used to pass me before the bridge. So I had that dilemma, so I had to obviously work out a good gear ratio, because I had the power, I had the acceleration
Yeah.
to get away from them.
Yeah.
But Chris America and all that Delta Force guys,
yeah,
I used
yeah.
to see in my mirror, nah, here they coming. Here they coming.
And you know what? Funny enough, if I look at it now, we actually, if you look at, like you now say, Chris America, but all the, at the Opels back then, there was certain guys that used to stand out.
Yeah.
You understand? Chris America for his endurance. You understand? Also, they also coming from a Datsun background.
Yes.
That is where Dion obviously.
Yeah, he and
afterwards-
Dion used to be tight.
Yes. Even if I look at Dion as well, when he came onto the scene with his Datsun,
Yeah.
well prepared. You understand? His Datsun was one of the best.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, you have to run against him to beat him. You understand? But now, the era then start changing.
Yes.
You understand?
It
There's some
changed quite a bit. You know, Dion, when I had my Mazda, he actually built my Mazda for me.
No.
Yeah, so he did like the cylinder head, and that thing used to run well for what it was, man.
Yeah, he was
And then
good,
so he used to do a lot of that kind of work, and then eventually when he got his Essex,
Yeah.
the whole thing turned around.
Yeah.
So I started tuning his Essex.
Yo!
So he used to do all the mechanical work,
Yeah.
and I used to do all the tuning
Yeah,
on his
yeah,
car at that
yeah.
time, man.
But if you look at it in that time when you had your Essex, or Dion had his Essex, if I look in my time when we were carburetors back then, and then with the Opels, I started turbocharging, doing the manifolds, doing the branches. But if I may go back, then with the Fords, I used to meet these guys, Mo Dawuddin,
Yeah.
you understand? Because all Ford Pepper, they in
Yes.
Joburg, and Ravi, them all, Capri Owens, Mo used to do their cars, and what's the name, the late that used to at the shop, Mo? Uh, he was killed in a motorbike
Yes,
accident, man. What's his name, Shame?
Hassan.
Hassan, yeah, Hassan
Yeah.
Tagari.
Tagari, yeah.
Capri Owens Ford,
Yes.
you understand, back then. And if I look at it, also, they were very knowledgeable guys.
Yes.
You understand? You must remember back then, those Joburg guys were ahead for us.
Yes. They were always ahead of us.
Yeah,
nah?
you understand? They were technology actually they actually develops much quicker than what it is here. So you will always find maybe something you're looking for there. You understand?
Yes.
And always information. You understand? If you're busy with something, they always maybe had the answer for it.
Yes.
So there were always this interchange of information. You understand? And this that time I was working as for a VW place in Langlaagte, and then after that they opened a shop. But if I look then, if I needed anything, any help, they were the guys. You
Yeah.
understand?
You know, still today, I mean, the other day I needed bearings for mobile, I need bearings.
No, I must say they were. Mo was a good tuner, become a good tuner. Mo obviously had a dyno, and obviously then all those guys, Theo them, all those
Speed and
Sign
Sound guys,
Owens.
yeah.
And when they came down here as well, they used the facilities here by my workshop, obviously too. That was the first time I think. When was that? 2000 then? No, it was 2000.
It was 2000. Yeah.
2000, right? They came down, all these guys, Mo them all, Theo them with the Opals, and what's this guy's name with his Mazda? Is it Mo? Ravat. You still remember?
Yeah.
Some two-door Mazda with his Mazda, what's his name? Mo used to do that, what's his name as well. So with these guys, we were busy with the Opals back then. And because of Mo, played actually a big role actually there. Back then, I always was turbo. When it comes to turbo, I always want to learn about the turbo itself.
Yeah.
And then always Mo information. Where do I get this? Where do I get that?
Mo always seemed to know where you get everything.
He was like he could put you to the right people at the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
even now as well.
Yeah, no, he's very, very knowledgeable. And then Mo told me, hey Brent, I tell you what, if you can get to this guy, everything that you need, this guy will have for you. He gave me the number. And that time, I used to write to Yaki them. I used to use their phone there by their shop. I used to fix all the guys' cars there by their shop and say, Mr. Chief, I must phone this guy, we must phone this guy, we must phone this guy. We need turbo parts.
Yeah.
This is the guy. Because we pay too much for the
turbo.
Right, so, and then found this guy. Rijspel was
a place called.
Was a place called, yeah. Rijspel. This guy's name was Johnny Oberholzer. That was one master of a guy which were like, you don't hear of him, but those who know him know what's his capability. And eventually, pick up the phone. Yeah. How can I help? I said, I got this turbo. I need parts. And yeah, okay. What turbo? T3, T4, trim wheel. Trim wheel.
That time we didn't know what's a trim.
What is that, sir? Okay. Have you got a post office near you? Send it with the post office. I'll get back to you with all your particulars. Whatever. Send the turbo down to Mr. Oberholzer. Hey. Phone him after a week. Hello, sir, did you get the turbo? Yes, got the turbo here. Okay, what car you got? I said, no, I got a 2-liter Ford. He said, were you using this? Or the 2-liter Ford? No, sir. No. Yeah, you're going to have to change the trim sizes and whatever. This is only good for a 1600. Huh? And then that guy then explained to me about the back pressure of the exhaust wheel, the compressor wheel, and how turbo start working. And eventually, phone that guy again. The phone is just dead. Hey.
And
And now, but I didn't take note what he told me. At the time he told me, I'm not always open. He's working on the mine, so there's a time that
it's not there.
He's not there. So he's shocked. It won't be operating. And eventually, then he phoned me back after a week, 2 weeks. He said, okay, right, I got a turbo for you, blah, blah, blah. Right, so. And then he sent the turbo down to us.
Post office.
But we start getting where we got connected to each other. You understand?
Yeah.
And always when I go to Joburg, I go meet up with the guys. They were small, Candace, they were small.
Yeah.
Me and Nathan, then we go meet up with the race owens, you understand, know them. And I went to go visit the Stoppie. I went to go meet him, Mr. Ober also. Yes, that's when I got there. At that workshop, I got a hell of a script. Remember that time, we never used to use Ford's pistons.
No.
Carallo rods. You understand? Turbonetics turbos.
Yeah.
You understand? And if I look at turbos, my eyes would fall out. You know what? And you know who I actually met there? W. Bear.
Oh, there.
Yeah. And I look at this Honda standing here. I look at you know what? Ozzy used to buy me magazines. You know that Fast Forward magazine?
Yes.
We could only read and see, hey, look at that beautiful, look at that intercooler. Actually, I'm in a workshop. This guy's manufacturing this stuff.
Yeah.
This guy is making these branches by hand. He's actually fabricating. I met this guy. I couldn't believe it. What I saw actually. And looking at the forged piston, it was JE that time.
Yeah.
Look at this piston. I asked him, what piston is this? He said, no, this is a forged piston. You understand? This is actually for a Honda engine, turbocharged.
That time Davi used to be in the B series.
Meneer, Mazda's. Then that, Mr. Oberholzer actually, we were so close where if I listened to him from where he's coming from. So he was turbocharging cars since the 70s, 60s. He had V8s, they were racing.
Yeah.
V8s, now if I say they were racing V8s, Jalil, they were racing V8s, Willie Eben.
Okay, with those guys.
Yeah, they were the Ford Capris and they were, Willie Eben was a Can-Am. Willie Eben used to do guys' cars and he used to have the Ford Capri. And he could never actually beat the Can-Ams.
Okay.
All right? So he he used to tell me, it's almost as there. They used to sprint out of the block and he comes and then the dice is over. And he used to do his heads, everything. And he's slowly catching up, but he's not catching up fast enough. Eventually he tells me then, I send my car to Willie Eben, my Capri. Right? Car's there by Willie Eben, got the car back. He somehow run the Can-Ams. He said, now this car is like the Meneer.
Yeah.
So now Willie Eben did his engine for him, did everything. And there's his old parts, his heads that he ported and his cams and whatever. So slowly, he's putting his heads back on his engine. And he's still winning these Can-Ams. So what did Willie Eben then do? And the next thing, what he never took note of, is to go look at the back at his Capri when he opened the diff cover.
You change the ratio.
He only changed the ratio.
Yeah.
He didn't need to change the heads. And you remember if I tell you about combination?
Yes.
A-
We
a
had this
co-
discussion the other day, Mark.
Yeah. And I always used to say, you know what? A car doesn't need, a car only needs X amount of power. But if the combination is good,
Yeah.
it's a winning car.
Yeah.
You can bring a graph, you can have the best of graph. If the combination isn't working,
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah, I mean, you even see it now. So guys making crazy power, but it's not fast. It's they can't put the power down, or it's just not fast. Guys, please stay tuned for part 2, where we will continue our conversation with Sakkie.